Hey guys, so by the title of the video, I'm sure you can tell what this video is going to be about. I unfortunately did lose the baby that I announced I was having last month, and I'm just going to talk about it today. I am going to be sharing my whole experience, and I know that's not something I have to do. I don't have to go into detail. You know, it's not a requirement just because you posted publicly that you're pregnant that now you have to give details about your miscarriage. I know that, but honestly, one of the only things that got me through this process, you know, obviously my family and the people around me that supported me through it, but watching other women on YouTube share their stories in detail, you know, share what they went through, how it felt, every single thing about that situation really helped me understand what I was going to go through. It helped me prepare. It helped me feel less alone. And so I knew that I wanted to be that for someone else. Whether you've miscarried, I'm sure so many of my followers have. That's the sad part. It's like beautiful that we can all lean on each other in these shitty times, but also it sucks that so many of us go through it. So I'm just gonna start from the beginning. I'm really emotional. I put on makeup for the first time in over a month. Like the last time I put on makeup was when I filmed my pregnancy announcement video, and I was like, maybe this will help me not cry if I have makeup on. Yeah, I doubt it. But yeah, I'm gonna say everything from start to finish on how all of this happened. I just wanna rip the band-aid off and tell you guys what happened so that I can move forward. So from the beginning, I took a pregnancy test, and I told you guys in my pregnancy announcement video how shocked I was when I read the pregnancy test. And I really was, which is weird because not only did we plan this pregnancy, but we already have a child. So I wasn't sure why I felt so shocked that it actually said positive. And immediately, I know this is gonna sound insane, but knowing that other women have felt this makes me feel a lot less crazy. Immediately I knew the baby wasn't gonna make it. From the moment I looked at the positive pregnancy test, I don't know why. I just looked at it and I knew that that baby would never come into this world. You know, I would never be able to hold it. I can't explain it, but I knew that. But I also have anxiety and depression, and I think a lot of crazy shit every day. I think the most morbid things, everybody I love is gonna die and I'm gonna be alone. Like, I think crazy things all the time that don't come true. So I honestly just wrote it off as that. I was like, no, of course, Jesse, you've had a son before. Like, you're gonna have this baby and this baby's gonna come into this world. I told everyone that I was close to that I was pregnant, but that I didn't want to celebrate until I heard the heartbeat. I remember my mom wanted to come up with baby names. She was so excited, and I just told her I don't want to do anything until I hear the heartbeat, because that's when I thought that I would see the baby not alive or not there at all. Like, something was gonna be wrong. And I know that sounds morbid, but that was my train of thinking, and I'm gonna let you guys know exactly what I was thinking throughout this process. When I went in for my 8-week appointment, I was 8 weeks and 3 days. That was the first ultrasound that we did. And I saw the baby, and that's the picture that I showed you guys in my pregnancy announcement video, and it was just there. And the heart was beating so strong, and I was like, Jesse, like, I think you're insane. I honestly did just write it off as another crazy intrusive thought that I have, which was that I was never gonna meet the baby. So I just took it for what it was. I was like, okay, then I'm pregnant and this baby's gonna come into this world. But before I filmed my video, I went again to like an elective ultrasound place. I remember telling you guys it's because I felt so good. Like, I had no pregnancy symptoms, but that really wasn't the whole reason. I just thought that maybe I needed to check if the heart was still beating before I made my video. And that's fucking weird. Like, you already know that your baby's heart was beating. Like, I knew something was wrong or was gonna go wrong. I don't know. So I went to the elective baby ultrasound place. We heard the heartbeat right before I filmed my video. I filmed my video at 10 weeks. I went a couple days before that. And when I heard the heart was still beating, I said, okay, let's film the video. You know, 10 weeks is a good amount of time, I guess, to announce it. So let me just announce it. And in retrospect, obviously, I wish I hadn't done that, but you live and you learn. And I didn't have another ultrasound scheduled until January 5th, which was a genetic appointment where you go and they check if there's like fluid in the neck to diagnose with any genetic disorders, etc. And those 2 weeks waiting for that ultrasound after the last one that I had were the longest 2 weeks ever. So I filmed my video at 10 weeks, and at 11 weeks, I started feeling the baby kick. I tweeted about that. I was like, oh my God, it's only 11 weeks and I feel the baby kicking. And some people were like, no, it's just gas. You can't feel a baby that early. Other people were like, yeah, it's your second baby. You feel them earlier. And the whole gas thing, like, I know what gas feels like in relation to a baby kick. Like, when you have gas and you're pregnant, sometimes it flutters across your pelvis, and that could be gas. And that's not what I was talking about. Like, the baby would kick in the same spot. It happened every day. After I turned 11 weeks, it happened every day for like 5 days. And then it stopped. And I remember looking at Nassim and I was like, I didn't feel a baby today. And he's like, it's okay, don't worry, you know, it's still tiny. And I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I don't feel it. It's not kicking anymore. She was like, it's fine. It's so small. Like, the fact that you felt it at all basically was great, you know, it's so early to feel a kick. In retrospect, now I know I felt when the baby stopped living, which is disturbing. I think not that early miscarriages are easy at all. No miscarriage is easy. But when you hear the heartbeat and you feel the baby kicking and then you lose that baby, it's a mind fuck for sure. So that was my situation. I basically felt when it stopped moving, and I did make excuses in my head, although I knew what that meant. I made a bunch of excuses, and also my belly was showing, and I was really, you know, when you're pregnant, you're really bloated in that area, and it really makes you look like you're super pregnant. I'll show you guys a picture, but I had a bump. Like, it was a firm, hard bump there. And I guess I just convinced myself that even though I didn't feel the baby move, that it was all okay because I was still growing a bump and everything was fine. But then I stopped feeling pregnant altogether. Like, I know I was feeling good before, but there were things like my husband making coffee made me want to throw up. Everything was like, ugh, and I had food aversions, and that all just went away. So I just didn't even feel pregnant anymore the morning that I went to the genetic appointment. And that morning was weird. I knew that I had to go, but they weren't allowing my husband to come because of Corona and all of that stuff. So I was just gonna go to the appointment by myself. And Nassim was like, no, I need to go with you. And I was like, no, you can't go with me. He's like, I'll wait in the car outside. I don't have to go inside. I'll wait for you. And I was like, that's ridiculous. You know, we have Noah. And he's like, well, Joey, can he watch Noah? Like, my brother who lives with us. And I was like, I don't want to make Joey wake up and have to watch Noah. And it was this whole thing. But he kept pushing, and he was like, I need to go and I need to be there. And so finally I woke my brother up, asked him if he could watch Noah, and he said yes. And me and Nassim left for my appointment. And during that car ride, I felt like I was gonna throw up. I was completely panicking. I felt like I knew what I was about to see. It was very, very bizarre. And when I went in, the ultrasound tech tried to do an abdominal ultrasound, and right away I was like, that's not what it should look like. But she was like, oh, I think that your uterus is facing certain way. I didn't even know what she said, but she was basically trying to like make an excuse, which I understand. She was trying to be nice. And she was like, well, let me go grab the doctor. You know, she has to see you anyway, so maybe she'll want to do the vaginal ultrasound, because that's what they ended up having to do. And I still was in denial. I was like, okay, like I didn't know 100% what was going on. And then they did the vaginal ultrasound. And even though I knew the baby wasn't the size it should have been at 13 weeks, I was like, maybe, you know, maybe it's just small. I don't know. I was still trying to make excuses until they did that thing on the ultrasound where it like flashes red and blue wherever I guess like blood is flowing. And that's how you can tell where the heart is and how it's beating. I'm not really sure how it all works. But as soon as they did that, it was like red and blue around the baby, but not where it should have been. And I knew before she said a word, so I just said, I know what happened. And she was like, I'm so sorry. And I just started sobbing. I didn't know what to do. Man, the makeup trick didn't work at all. Fucking crying still. Maybe it was a dumb idea. I'm really thankful that the ultrasound tech and the doctor were super nice, and they were like, do you have anyone that's here for you downstairs or anywhere? And I was like, my husband's here. So they let me call him up, but my phone didn't have service. It was like a series of unfortunate events. So I had to call him on the office phone, and I didn't want to like freak him out, but I was just like, can you come up? And he just came in, and I told him it's gone. And that was it. You know, we spoke to the specialist, and she called my OBGYN, and my OBGYN called me to discuss my options, although I knew what I wanted. I wanted a DNC. A DNC is a surgery, very quick surgery, where they basically just take everything out of your uterus, and you don't have to miscarry by yourself at home, which I knew for a fact I could not handle. I know there's other people that are way stronger than me that can do that, but I also knew the baby wasn't tiny, and I didn't want to have to go through that pain. Honestly, this whole situation disturbed me a lot, if I'm being honest, because I didn't know that you can still have the baby inside of you even when it's gone. I thought that it would just come out, like, you know, your body would just be like, oh, this didn't work, and you would just start bleeding. I had no signs of a miscarriage. I did not bleed. Nothing was different. I had no pain. The only thing is that my symptoms started to wear away of my pregnancy, and I stopped feeling the baby kick. Those were the only things. So that alone, I was like, the baby's just been gone for that long inside of me, and I've just been living my life. Like, it disturbed me. It honestly did. I just wanted to do the DNC and get it all done with. And my doctor, my OBGYN, is the most amazing human being. And she just told me, you know, if that's what you feel, that you can't handle the miscarriage at home, then let's do the DNC. We'll get you in. And that's that. So I went to an appointment where I signed consent forms, and they let me know what was going to happen. I got my prescriptions for pain. That was on a Wednesday, and then I was scheduled for Friday for my DNC. I got there on Friday when I was supposed to, and they put an IV in me. I took medicine that you're supposed to take before your surgery, all of that. And then my doctor came in and was like, they had an emergency in the hospital because of corona. Basically, they shut down all inpatient surgeries. And so if there's an emergency that comes in, they bump everyone that's outpatient. And so she just told me, you know, they're telling us 1 a.m. for the time where you can actually get your DNC done. It was like 3. So she was like, you can either stay or you can go and we can reschedule you for Monday. And she was really sweet about it. I mean, there's nothing pleasant about going home knowing you can miscarry at any second by yourself. But regardless, I went home. And I said, we'll do it on Monday. And I waited until Monday, which was yesterday. Today's Tuesday when I'm filming this. Yesterday was my surgery. And to be honest, it went really well. I'm very grateful for the option of a DNC. I know not every woman experiences what I experienced with the surgery. Some experience, you know, horror stories. You're always going to hear the good and bad with every choice that you have. But at the end of the day, none of them are good choices. They're just choices you have to make. So for me, I'm really happy that the DNC was an option for me. They put you under general anesthesia, so I was asleep the entire time. I did cry a lot before they actually put me under. When you go into an OR and you're awake and they like put your arms out like I had to when I had a C-section, it was all really triggering. So I just started sobbing. Like I couldn't help myself. And my doctor, being the amazing human being that she is, she held my hand and she started talking to me about my son. I just started talking to her about him, which made me happy. And then I don't remember anything else. I just went under during that mid-conversation and I woke up and that was that. I was in very little pain. I honestly felt nothing. It was like the mildest of period cramps. I mean, I have horrible period cramps, so I don't know if that's why, but I just looked at the nurse. I was like, did you put painkillers in my IV? She's like, no, I mean, just the medicines you took before. I was like, because I don't feel pain. Everyone had prepared me for pain. The nurses, I mean, I got prescribed Percocet for crying out loud. I was like, okay, this is going to be bad. I was also expecting a lot of blood, and I'm very lucky that that was not the case for me, at least so far. Right now, I'm barely bleeding. Only when I like wipe, I know that's like too much information, but only when I wipe is there like a tiny bit of blood. Like there's really nothing. I feel completely normal. And I did ask my doctor before like what they do with the baby, because I was like, do you guys just like throw it away? Like what happens to it? You know, like it's just like a weird ass question, but it's just you wonder what they do with it, because it wasn't like this big, you know, it wasn't growing fetus. So I don't know. And she said that they send it off to pathology to get it tested. And when she said that, I did get a little nervous, because during pathology, when they're testing if there was any genetic thing that made the baby stop growing, they also tell you the gender. And I didn't want to know. I actually, for this pregnancy, I took an early gender test. It's called Sneak Peek. You can like buy it online. From there, I was told I was having a boy. I'm not sure if it's right or not, because who knows? It's like an at-home blood test and I suck at everything, so I might have ruined it. I don't know. I don't want to know for sure. I guess. I don't know. I just think the hardest part of a miscarriage is that when you find out you're pregnant, your brain develops all these ideas, you know, like all these things that are going to happen and this idea of the future, and it's all just cut right then and there. Like, no, that's not happening for you. As shitty as this was, and it was shitty, I believe that everything happens for a reason. Everything, good and bad. If we could see the outcome of whether that baby would have made it or not, I'm sure we would understand more of why this had to happen. But it did happen, and I know it happened for a reason. And that was still an important part of our life for a few months. You know, that was still our baby. I kept asking Nassim, like, was that our baby or was it not? Because it never made it. Like, it's a very confusing thing to go through. At least I know I can survive it. Like, you know, my mentality is already so fragile all the time that I was just scared. But you know what? We went through it. We were both really strong through it. This situation has made me appreciate my husband even more than I did before. Nassim has been amazing. We're just there for each other in every single way that we both need each other in this moment, and it's been a beautiful thing to experience, and it's brought us closer together, and I am grateful for that. And my son, I just look at Noah and I look at him like a miracle. I'm like, how did that even happen? When things like this happen, you feel like your body is just broken, and it's not. It's a lot, as you can tell. It's a lot. And honestly, I know in my heart that we're gonna add on to our family. It's not like all those dreams and plans and, you know, wants just left. They didn't. They're still here. I still want a baby. It just didn't happen right now. Overall, I'm really okay. I've been processing it as well as I can. I'm trying not to push down any feelings, just to feel them all as they come. I don't want to pretend like this didn't happen or like it didn't affect me. I think it's easy for people to say, well, you know, it was still so tiny and it's fine, you could try again. Like, obviously I know that, but like, that was my baby. Like, I felt that baby inside of me, saw that baby, I heard the baby's heart, you know? It's a hard feeling. But anyway, that's what happened, and I honestly just want to move forward. You know, I suffer already enough from depression and anxiety, and I don't want to drag myself into the place where I can't find myself anymore, and I don't think I deserve that after going through what I went through. So I really do just want to find a healthy way to move forward. Anyway, I'm rambling at this point. I don't know if I'm gonna leave the comments on for this video or not. I know I'm for sure gonna turn them off on my pregnancy video, but I'm not gonna take that video down. You know, that was still something I was excited about. It was still something in the moment that I loved to share with you guys, and I don't want to forget that. I hope that one day we'll have a happier ending, and that I'll be able to share exciting news with you, and there will be better days. So I'm looking forward to that. In case I do turn off the comments on this video, I'm not sure if I will, but I'm in a really fragile place where it's not like I don't want people to share their stories with me. It's more like if I get any sort of hate comment or something on this video, I'm gonna be sent into another dimension. So I don't know if I can leave the comments on for this video. If I don't, you can reach out to me on Instagram, DMs, or Twitter. My DMs on Instagram are open. I don't think on Twitter they are. But either way, you can DM me on Instagram and we can talk there. I might be able to see your message there. But yeah, that's just in case I turn the comments off. Other than that, thank you guys. Thanks for hearing me out, for hearing my story. And I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.